Spawn. Now that Battlefield 4 has finally been officially unveiled, the long wait for its fall 2013 release date begins in earnest. While what EA and DICE have shown us so far is visually impressive, many questions about the game's new features and improvements remain. Will the new release dethrone Battlefield 3 as the hottest multiplayer shooter around? Will EA continue to support the game with content packs? Or will a new content distribution method take the place of its current DLC strategy? Will the single-player campaign finally be able to capture the open-ended chaos of Battlefield's hallmark multiplayer modes? While no game developer is able to please all of its fans all of the time, there's no doubt that DICE will be pulling out all the stops to ensure it recaptures the bulk of the player base from its previous games. And with some luck, gain some new converts to the Battlefield name. While Battlefield 3 broke new ground in many aspects, even the most die-hard fans can agree there is much for the developers to improve on this time around. Let's take a brief look at some of the community's most significant requests for the new game in GamerSpawn's Battlefield 4 community requests. 1. Voice chat for PC. One of the biggest omissions from Battlefield 3 was the lack of VoIP features, especially in a game that calls for constant and careful communication among teammates. If DICE is serious about improving the series and drawing new gamers into the fold, the company should make voice chat a day one feature when the game hits this fall. 2. Freeform single player. While in the past, EA seemed to be pushing the Battlefield games as campaign modes to conform to Call of Duty's scripted, on-rails gameplay structure, the series' real strength lies in its dynamic and organic player-driven battles. In order to craft a unique and memorable single-player mode, DICE should concentrate on leveraging Battlefield's biggest assets, openness and player freedom. Additionally, it's time to move away from using the Russians as the villains in our military shooters. A more complex and multi-layered threat would help improve the plot's believability.
Oh, man! I should have joined the Air Force!
3. Commander Mode. One of the most innovative and memorable features from community favorite Battlefield 2 was its Commander Mode, a real-time strategy-inspired interface that allowed one player on each team to call in artillery strikes, supply drops, and other assets to assist and guide his team to victory. Many players were disappointed when DICE confirmed that Battlefield 3 would indeed be dropping the concept moving forward. Rumors indicate that Commander Mode will possibly be making a comeback with Battlefield 4, and if these prove true, the community should be very excited about the prospect. Mod support. One of the main reasons Battlefield 1942 was such a strong seller a decade ago was because of the variety and depth of the mods available for the game. Even before EA released an official mod development kit, amateur programmers fiddled and tweaked the game's code to their heart's content, eventually prompting EA to release an SDK to the modding community. From Desert Combat to Star Wars to Pirates and Warhammer, unbelievably talented modders gave the game a shelf life that it would have never achieved on its own. Sadly, Battlefield 3 had no such mod support, and the game's longevity may end up suffering for it. Whether it's a day one SDK or simply more open, accessible game code, we'd love to see improved support for potentially great mods. 5. Improved map design and multiplayer code. And while the PC version of Battlefield 3 boasted 64-player battles at launch, console players weren't so fortunate. Though the Xbox and PlayStation's aging technology will continue to be a limiting factor, at the very least, an improved scaling system for the map size would help players get into the action faster on some of the larger maps. And of course, the more players the better in a Battlefield game. An increased player count would make a great series even greater. Finally, a less buggy and much snappier netcode would help eliminate lag issues and entice players who were previously burned by some of Battlefield 3's issues. If EA and DICE were to try to incorporate every last feature requested by every single one of their fans, Battlefield 4 would never see the light of day. But we hope that through voicing the most common and most important requests, the community can make it known to DICE and EA exactly what their fans are looking for. Don't forget to stay tuned into GamerSpawn for the latest news on Battlefield 4 and all the other hot titles to look forward to.